This content covers Tomorrow Movement culture, which is one of the core parts of our DNA. You can see here our DNA is made up of story, strategy, and structure, as well as culture. So the main objectives of this content is to understand the importance of having strong movement culture, to learn and reflect on our movement principles and culture, and practice being a guardian of our movement culture. So what is culture? Culture is the way we do things around here. It's the way we speak to people, the way we welcome people, the way we communicate, talk, share our history, the way we do the work, relate to each other within the movement. There's a saying that we sometimes throw around at Tomorrow Movement, which is culture eats strategy for breakfast. This means that our strategy and plan to win is only as strong as the movement culture that supports it. It doesn't matter how good your plan is. If your movement culture is so toxic and harmful that everyone leaves, then you won't have anyone around to actually execute your plan. A toxic movement culture that doesn't allow for leadership, punishes people for making mistakes, or doesn't allow for experimentation will not enable us to be big enough or strong enough to win the kind of change at the scale we need to. We need a strong and intentional culture to win, and we can't win if we have bad movement culture. To help us articulate what our culture is all about, the front-loading team of 2020 put together a set of 12 principles. These principles help guide the movement more broadly. If you take an action that doesn't align with one of these principles, then it is not a Tomorrow Movement action. Anyone can take action in the name of the movement if they believe in and act in line with these principles. United, we will win. We are clear-eyed and bold. We work in solidarity with First Nations people. Together, we are strong. We lead from our communities. We are disciplined and non-violent. We collaborate with other movements for justice. We take initiative. We learn and grow together. We have the conversations we need to have. We look out for each other. We are a community. It's up to each and every one of us in the movement to make sure we're looking after our culture and sharing it with others. We are the guardians of our culture, and it's up to us to model and correct it. Remember, our principles don't exist as a way to police how other people act, but instead as a tool to make sure that we can hold each other accountable to the rest of the movement. When we notice that someone is acting or speaking in a way that is not aligned with our principles, aka our culture, we all have a responsibility to address the situation. This might look like talking to the person with curiosity, asking questions, validating feelings, linking back to collectively shared principles, giving feedback and suggesting ways forward. So a couple of things to keep in mind about guarding our culture. Yeah, don't be afraid to speak up. Be kind and compassionate. Be direct. And catch things in the movement if you can. We're briefly now going to cover some frameworks and ideas to help you guard culture. So radical candor is one practice we can use to engage with each other. If we care about the people around us, we want to give feedback in a way that is direct but kind. I know if my fly was down or if I had food on my face, I appreciate it when people let me know so that I can fix it and then just move on. This is an example of radical candor, but radical candor can also come up when someone isn't acting in line with our culture. We want to let them know in a way that is direct but kind so they can learn, grow, change their behavior, and move on without being held too long in embarrassment or shame. We also want to use radical candor to practice calling in versus calling out. Calling out as a concept is an important tool when demanding justice from people in power. For example, calling out the bad policy of a government. But within movements and communities, calling out can be associated with cancel culture, which we don't want. Using radical candor, we can call folk in to bring them along in their understanding when they haven't acted in line with our culture. We all make mistakes and need to practice doing our best until we know better, then doing better. We can see calling in as an offering to learn and grow. Lastly, we want to avoid triangulation in the movement. If there is a problem between you and another person, bring it up directly. Don't just talk behind their back. Triangulation can be used as a way to build relationships in an unhealthy way. By complaining or criticizing about a person, you both know to build a shared sense of solidarity, but it actually doesn't commit to addressing the person's behavior or give that person an opportunity to learn and grow themselves. However, do talk to a third party if you need to ask for help, if you are unsure about how to address a problem, if you have a legal, security, or safety concern for yourself or other people, or if you need a third party involved to help mediate the conflict. Some ideas here about interrupting triangulation. We want to be showing compassion and concern, saying things like, I'm sorry, that sounds really hard. We want to refuse to engage in the criticisms, but talk about what solutions that somebody could try. What are some things you could do to address this? We want to encourage them to address the issue directly. Something like, this sounds like a conversation you need to have with person A directly. Do you think you can do this? You can also offer them support to do so. How can I support you to do this? Moving on now. Now, I just want to touch briefly on music and art. We want to continue the tradition of art and music in protest. We use music and art because we want to be bold and beautiful in the movement. We want to convey hope and power in all of our actions. Creativity is also really important to bring joy to the movement, making actions fun and silly, both of which can help our movements be places that folk want to join and be a part of. Some of the examples of this include artistic and creative banners, as well as singing, which is part of a long organising and mobilising tradition, particularly powerful in action settings. We also have a clear visual identity evident in our logos and font style. All of these elements are important to build our visual identity and make our movement visible to those outside. You can find more about these in the Styles Guide, which is available on the resources portal. That's all for this content. I hope this gives you a good overview of our Tomorrow movement culture. Culture is something that evolves and we learn and grow with it, so I encourage you to take hold of our culture and make it your own.